The Backstage Experience starts now. Welcome to the Backstage Experience, as we take you backstage with the biggest names and games in entertainment. This week, a dream holiday turns into a living nightmare with James McAvoy in Speak No Evil. Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella fend off an army of assassins in The Killer's Game, and Jim Carrey brings the laughs as the evil Dr. Robotnik. Plus, David Johnson has you covered in all things gaming with this week's PlayStation 5 Pro announcement, the release of Warhammer 40K, Space Marine 2, and more. All this week only on The Backstage Experience.
Welcome to The Backstage Experience. I'm Dave Morales.
And I'm John Stenval.
Okay, so if we had the little alert, it would go
News
breaking
alert,
news,
alert.
breaking news. John has some breaking news for all you folks watching The Backstage Experience.
This is the first episode of Season 2.
Season 2!
Of The Backstage Experience. We kicked off the show exactly a year ago.
We're excited. So if you've been here since day one, happy that you've been here. If you're new, welcome.
We're now coast to coast.
We are now coast to coast. Seattle to Orlando and all points in between. This is exciting, dude.
Yeah.
So we thought we would reward everyone with a really fun episode. Listen to who's going to join us this week on the Backstage Experience. Very good friend of ours, Dave Bautista, is talking with us.
Yeah, and he's going to be along with Sofia Boutella and his co-star Drew McIntyre, WWE star Drew McIntyre, who's starring in his first feature film ever.
And James McAvoy, one of our favorites out there. He has a brand new movie. It's scary. It's called Speak No Evil. We're going to talk with him in just a few. But first.
And also, the legend that is Jim Carrey.
Oh, yeah, Jim Carrey. Dude, this is a great show.
How can you forget Jim Carrey?
Dude, I know. We got to get started. So like we do every week, David Johnson, tell us the latest and the greatest in gaming news. Take it away.
The Funko Pop Invasion, using a chainsword against your enemies, and driving with the top down. All that and more this week in gaming on the Backstage Experience. The Warhammer franchise has been going on strong for over 40 years in the gaming space, both as a tabletop game and as a video game franchise. The newest entry promises to be an action-packed, blood-soaked thrill ride, positioning you as the ultimate space hero. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2 is the new hack-and-slash action game, where the player presides as Titus, an ultramarine lieutenant who seeks to eradicate an enemy alien race to keep the galaxy safe. Space Marine 2 utilizes both ranged and melee combat and can be played single-player or through online co-op multiplayer. We have some breaking news from Mark Cerny and the PlayStation team. We finally have our first look at the new mid-generation PlayStation 5 update, officially entitled the PlayStation 5 Pro. While the Pro model does not change the overall design of the PS5 that much, it does boost the interior specs and merge performance mode and fidelity mode into one. The PS5 Pro has a 67% larger GPU and 28% faster memory than the original PS5. It also has more advanced ray tracing and new AI-driven upscaling software using PlayStation's patented new technology. The PS5 Pro launches with a hefty price tag this fall, retailing on November 6th for $699.99. The popular brand Funko has created a new video game entitled Funko Fusion. Developer 1010 Games has developed this action-adventure game that creates a story based on popular franchises from Universal Pictures films and TV shows. Funko Fusion will have both single-player and multiplayer options and contains characters from Five Nights at Freddy's, Jaws, Jurassic Park, Back to the Future, and more. After a decade-long hiatus, Nacon and KT Racing have brought back Test Drive for another entry in the long-running racing franchise. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown features a 1-to-1 scale recreation of Hong Kong as the main driving destination. Solar Crown is focused on the lifestyle and social experience that comes with open-world racing games. While exploring Hong Kong, you can collect various exotic cars from dealerships, customize them in unique workshops, and race against the open world in weekly competitions. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown is available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. And finally, Capcom's arcade classics are finally arriving on console, all in one collection. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection gathers 7 of the most popular Marvel and Capcom arcade titles, both in their English and Japanese versions. Each game has been graphically enhanced and contains online and co-op multiplayer. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection is available on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, and will be available on Xbox in 2025.
WWE superstar Drew McIntyre is making his feature film debut in The Killer's Game.
Yeah, his very first movie. There's a really funny story how this role came to life. So obviously Dave Bautista, who's going to join us later in this episode of the Backstage Experience, they needed somebody that could beat up
Dave Bautista.
Yeah, and so the director actually went to Dave and said, "Who do you know?" And he goes, "I've got just," and they needed a Scottish.
I just got the guy.
Yeah, they needed a Scottish actor that you could maybe understand with a Scottish accent. Guess what? Drew McIntyre got the role. He's going to tell you that very story right now. We're talking with Drew McIntyre right here on the Backstage Experience. Drew, it's great to see you again. Yesterday, I was sitting in the room with your director, J.J. Perry, and I also talked with Dave Bautista, and they told me a story. And I've known Dave for many, many years. And I said, "Dude, Drew McIntyre, how did you get him?" And they both told me the story, so I figured to go straight to the source today. And I see a little bit of a smile.
I was wondering what story? God, what story? Well, I've got a movie story, thank God.
No, don't, bro. And by the way, I'm glad you're feeling okay, because I saw what happened on Raw. And dude, you're so right about CM Punk. Trust me, I'm on your side on that one. Exactly. All right, so your director and Dave Bautista said they were looking for somebody for this role that could stand up to Dave Bautista, that could beat him up as a character, okay? And Dave looked at JJ, your director, and said, "I've got the guy."
That is true. That's 100% how it went down. Talking to Dave on the phone was pretty surreal. I hadn't spoken to him for a minute. But I'd grown up around him in WWE. I arrived, he was already a made man, a huge star. He'd bet on himself and succeeded at the highest level in Hollywood, so it was nice to catch up with him on the phone. And then he told me, "Hey, this is the next movie. This is the plot line, and this is the character that JJ would like to involve as one of the hitmen. These Scottish brothers, and it's somebody that's big enough to look like him, can believably beat me up, with a thick accent." And he was like, "I know that just the guy exists. He's called Drew. Let me call him right now."
He told me that story, and I told Dave that you and I had talked before. And I'm like, "Bro, this is perfect." So congratulations. Does the acting experience, did it live up to everything that you expected?
Yeah, and then some, because I didn't really have any expectations. I go into everything new, just as a sponge, just looking to absorb and learn from people that know better than me. And I got there, I was nervous as hell, seeing the big Hollywood set, the production, the size of it, and Dave was right there to say to me, "Are you nervous?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm nervous." He was like, "I'm nervous too." I went, "How can you be nervous after all this time, all these big movies and diverse roles that you've done?" But that relaxed me right away, and once I got in front of the camera, the red light came on. It's amazing what WWE prepares you for. I'm sure you've seen Rock talk about it, Cena talk about it, and Dave talk about it. Like, WWE prepares you for anything, it feels like, in life, specifically this world. And as soon as the red light went on, I relaxed and just had so much fun.
Coming up after the break, Dave Bautista and Sofia Boutella are on the run from an army of assassins in The Killer's Game. The duo give you a backstage look at their action-packed comedy next. Only on the Backstage Experience.
Welcome back to the Backstage Experience. Brand new movie in theaters. It's called The Killer's Game, and it stars a really good friend of ours. He's been on the show before.
Dave Bautista,
Dude.
WWE star.
Yeah, WWE star.
Now movie star. Turned movie star.
Like The
Guardians
Rock.
of the Galaxy. You know.
He's just awesome. And yeah, we've talked to him for several years now. Okay, so in The Killer's Game, the plot is he is a hired assassin by a group. When they need somebody or something taken care of, they call Dave. Something happens in his personal life. I'm not going to ruin everything. So he hires that group to take care of him.
Got it.
But there's a misdiagnosis, and so he tries to cancel. But once you're in,
You're in.
You're in.
Yeah. So would you say this looks like it's a good action movie, you know, maybe a date night film?
Well, they're all trying to kill each other. So, yeah, that's a really good question. Let's ask the cast. Dave Bautista, Sofia Boutella. Is it a date night movie? We're talking The Killer's Game.
How did you end up here?
Work.
What do you do?
Retirement planning.
You should smile more often. It suits you. Joe, are you okay?
I'm afraid I've got some bad news, Joe. It's terminal.
How long do I have?
Best case, 3 months.
I don't want Maisie to see me bothered like that.
What brings you to my door?
I need a contract executed.
Who do you want retired?
Me.
It's an action movie. It's a ton of fun. But you know what else it is? It's a date night movie. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes, 100%.
Boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever, everybody can go see it and make it a date night.
That's what I love hearing that because that's what we were hoping for.
Dude.
You know, thank you.
Awesome. All right. I'm sure you've been asked this before, but did anybody get hurt? There's so much fighting. I know JJ's amazing, your director, but dude, there's a lot going on.
My heart got hurt. Because I got lied to.
Ah.
No, I don't think anybody got hurt.
No.
Okay.
We all played it
Yeah.
safe.
I mean, there was a second unit going on with a lot of action and stunts, but I don't think anybody got hurt.
No.
That's good to hear, because honestly, it is fast-paced from the very beginning. Like, nobody lost interest. It was just like non-stop going. The church scene, I'm not ruining today, but I'm Catholic. The church scene, dude, the church scene is freaking hilarious. I love it. So how many, tell me about the weapons and stuff that were on the set. Like just the toys and things like that, because I'm a dude, and I'm like zeroing in on everything. I mean, the machetes, bro, there was a lot.
There's a lot going on.
So, I mean, but is it just like, do they bring it in like on a big tray, or you know what the scene is? Tell me,
No, that's pretty much, it's there on like a big tray. It's all displayed.
Really?
That's what you have to work with. And it was so fun. I mean, this is kind of, it's like, this is what, I mean, this kind of stuff is just fun. It's like being a kid in a candy store,
Exactly. Tell me about the choreography, though. Like when you're filming the action scenes, the fight scenes, how important it is to, do you rehearse them? Do you practice them?
I like to rehearse. I like to rehearse, and it's just what I'm used to as a dancer. But I can also learn on the spot, but I enjoy rehearsing because then I don't have to think about it on set and I can just be. For the dance sequences, you cannot not rehearse. You have to. So, for the dance sequence that I do in it, we did rehearse. I forgot how many days, but Nina, the choreographer, Nina McNeely, she's pretty quick. And we worked together in the past, and she does incredible work in very short amount of time. So, yeah.
All right, I got to ask you this question. Mutual friend of ours, I've interviewed him several times. Drew McIntyre, dude, his very first movie. So is this a true story? I heard that they were looking for somebody to play that character, and you said, that's true. You said, I've got the person for you.
Perfect person. When JJ described, he's like, anybody who's like bigger than you who would actually make you look small, you'd actually be intimidated by him, and who happens to be Scottish. I was like, dude, light bulb, like, come on. Yeah, it's like, I know the perfect guy. I got the perfect guy. And so, yeah, it was like one call. I called Drew and said, hey, man, would you be interested? Yeah, absolutely. He called Hunter, and Hunter said, yeah, you're good to go. Told JJ, he's perfect. Don't even look elsewhere. He's a perfect guy.
You gave him his movie start.
I love that. I'm so proud of
He's
him.
gonna keep going?
Drew's great.
I hope he does.
so.
He's an awesome guy. He's really...
Oh, Flood, thank God. There's been a mistake. They switched your scan with another patient. You're not gonna die, but you might want to get your eyes checked.
I'm canceling the contract.
What is going on, Joe?
Maisie, I'm a hitman.
What? You kill people?
That's what an assassin is, yeah. Did he just hit me with a motorcycle? This is disrespectful.
Going on vacation is usually the highlight of everyone's year. Relax on the beach, eat great food, and make some new friends. But what happens when those great new friends aren't exactly what they seem? After this backstage interview with Speak No Evil star James McAvoy, you may never want to talk to anyone on vacation again. Get ready, that's coming up next. Only on the Backstage Experience.
Welcome back to the Backstage Experience. James McAvoy, who's phenomenal actor, by the way. I loved his role in Split, where he played multiple personalities.
Dude, Split is a great movie.
But this time around, he plays a gentleman, let's just say, don't go on vacation with people you don't know.
Yeah, and that's what we talked about. Speak No Evil is the movie. It is freaky. It is scary. You know what? Let's just have James McAvoy tell you more before I start revealing plot points.
Yeah.
James McAvoy, right here on the Backstage Experience.
This is my husband, Ben.
I'm Patrick Feld. This is my wife, Kira. You have to come and visit us. The West Country, really, it's beautiful.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's good to see you again.
You too, man, you too.
We've talked, over the years. You are a really, really nice guy.
Thank you very much.
So, my friend, where did this come from? I mean, did you scare yourself with this character? You are
No, I had a lot of fun playing this character.
Really?
Yeah, I think, I know he's a bit scary and stuff, and he ultimately is possibly quite unhinged, but he's having a lot of fun, and he really enjoys what he does with his day. What he does with his day is pretty despicable, but he really has a good time doing it, and that, I don't know, that was a lot of fun to play.
We've talked glass split, and as I'm watching you in this role, I'm thinking, do you like scary movies?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I do. For me, it is scary at times. It definitely is, and there's it's unsettling, but it's also the tension in this as well, and the comedy in this as well is pretty palpable too. So it is a scary movie, but it's kind of more than that as well.
How do you cool down? There's some pretty intense scenes.
Honestly, they say cut, and I'm like, fine. I always am. I'm very rare. There's only been one part in my entire career where I feel like I took energy home with me, but the rest of the times, save it for the camera, save it for the movie, and then in between takes, just be yourself,
It's so quiet around here. Don't even have any neighbors?
Agnes, love, you have to eat your vegetables. And we don't chew with our mouths open.
Please, could you stop telling my daughter what to do?
You don't criticize other people's children. You should say sorry.
It's okay.
I'm sorry, Louise.
Louise, is there anything you'd like to say?
Did you research psychopaths? I'm not ruining anything, but how do you prepare? And again, you've done, how do you get ready? That's what I'm asking.
Do you know what? It's just, even when you're playing somebody who seems so different from yourself, I don't believe you ever transform. It's just you. All it is you. And what else you have? You don't teleport some other thing inside you and become something else. It's just you. And so even though those characteristics that guy has that are despicable and unlike me, and his narcissism is off the hook, and his sociopathy is off the sociopathy is off the hook. That's all in me. Do you know what I mean? We all have the ability to kill. We all have it in us to kill, but we don't indulge that. We don't develop that. But imagine those parts of you have grown and have actually developed, and what would maybe have had to happen to you in your childhood or your youth or your teens or your early 20s or whatever to make you into a slightly different person or an incredibly different person. But ultimately, the seeds of those things are still inside you, and so. Yeah, it's not really about researching psychopaths or anything like that. It's more about digging out the psychopath that's already in you,
Is this a good vacation planning?
Yeah. The moral of this story is don't make friends on vacation. 100%. It's never going to work out well. You might get killed.
People were literally gasping watching this last night.
I got to watch it with an audience in San Diego, and it was awesome, man.
It
was so good.
I admire you. Louise is a great woman. I've always wanted a family like yours.
Mom, something's not right with him.
No! What is wrong with you? I want to back up the car, and I want to leave now.
Fans are so excited that Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is releasing this holiday season that the first Sonic movie remains one of Netflix's most popular movies to watch. Before we go, we catch up with Dr. Robotnik himself, Jim Carrey. It's an absolutely hilarious interview you don't want to miss. Only on the Backstage Experience.
Welcome back to the Backstage Experience. By the way, thanks and congratulations to everybody. The old team is here. Season 2 officially beginning. I'm excited, man. Dude, this is great.
I'm stoked.
I didn't think we'd last one episode.
And here we are.
Here we are, season 2. Yeah. Okay, so before we go, last thing that we do on every episode every week is a quick sound bite. We talked to one of our favorite actors, Jim Carrey. We talked to him.
Yeah, he's the man of a million faces, so we had to ask him, how does he move and contort his face like that? Check it out.
Jim, how many different ways can you move your face around? As I'm watching this movie, I'm thinking, you know, he's done this for years, obviously going back to the In Living Color days.
It's a liquid thing, man.
You can do it all with your face. You don't even say anything.
It is a liquid thing. Yeah, it's a constant evolving piece of machinery. I know intimately every bell, whistle, and pulley, you know? So I love using it, and it also operates on its own a lot, that I have no idea what's happening. I like to get that what you call it, the behavior squad, the behavior panel to look at my face and try to figure me out.
On the next episode of the Backstage Experience, we travel to Cybertron with Chris Hemsworth and the cast of Transformers 1. Halle Berry fights an unsuspecting evil in Never Let Go. And Kathryn Hahn returns to the Marvel Universe in Agatha All Along. That's all next week on the Backstage Experience.